Hey there, future me. It's currently a Saturday morning, not really morning, or well, it's a morning, but the sun hasn't risen. You know what I mean, right? How long? It's been a while. It's about 6 weeks actually. Think it's not April anymore. Welcome to March. Or wait, what? Oh, it's not March anymore. Welcome to April, right? April is going to be over in about like I guess 5 days, but yeah, we'll say it's still April, so we'll enjoy it while it's here, right? Um, what's happened, I guess, over the past like 6-ish weeks? There was a week of code, there was a week of doing sorta code, like still kind of coding along, bug hunting. The 2 weeks of idiocy with like a little bit of code sprinkled in between. Another week of code where we just basically like went bug hunting and like found some errors that like we've been chasing for a whole 2 months. It's always I do admit, not my finest moment to think that I could have like bypassed like 2 months of like make these plots to check to make sure that the code is doing the right physical things when the error was actually just like a technical error all along, or just like a matter as to how I guess I represented the data, right? So that's always fun to think about. That if I had slightly better coding practices, or I could have saved like 2 months time. Like 2 months is a long time, man. That's like two videos. Jeez. So what, like implementing new things with function pointers, uh, bug hunting and making sure that I didn't like mess up my like version control or stuff like that. Idiocy, another week of idiocy, finding the bugs in like one part and then finding like the bigger bugs like that resolved like the 2 month issue, and then I guess this week I just kind of like didn't really, I kind of like did some things, but I mainly just like moseyed along. I didn't really do too much. Was just kind of more focused on like doing like what like actually what did I do this week? I think I made plots on Monday and stuff, right? And then I met with Prof on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday I like did some runs and like made some plots, but didn't send them to Prof. And then on Thursday I was like just partaking in like grad student like, hey, look, we're running an event. Go partake in participate in the event and help run the event, like one of those ones. And then Friday, I guess or today, or well, yesterday, I didn't really do too much. I guess I don't know. So it's been 6 weeks, and that's kind of been like the overall highlights I would say of those 6 weeks. And well, I guess has anything been on my mind? Why haven't I been recording? Yeah, well, what's happened to that commitment, right? I don't think I was particularly like out of it. I think there were just times where like I would tell myself, "Oh, I'll go record today," right? And then I would go back home and I would like do some other things, maybe play some video games or watch some videos. And I get really tired, and I would just go to sleep before getting before sitting down to record. And so it was just kind of like dang meeting, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. And well, hey, but I guess the buck stops here now because I'm currently still soaking my feet, right, to wash my feet, and well, can't go to sleep until I get my feet out of here. So, hey, I might as well get it in, right? Um, and yeah, I don't know, like what's on my mind? Is there anything in particular that I want to talk about? I think so. Like, I think the past like week or so, like I kind of have this like. I think I've had a good topic as to what I want to talk about. A title, I'm still kind of working on it, but it's just like this idea of like continuity or change, right? Like, I mean, ideally, I was kind of hoping to, record this audio like on the 8th, because that would have been kind of like the year anniversary since like the solar eclipse, right? And that was like a pretty cool thing. I mean, we drove over to, well, I leached a ride off of people, like the whole cohort kind of like drove over to like a friend's place, and because like his house was in like his family's house was like in the path of totality, and like we watched the eclipse, and that was like pretty cool. And I remember like I made a video around that time. I think it was the first video right after that, titled like "Eclipses and Self Evolution" or something, where like I guess I just kind of talked about like, ooh, like life kind of changes for the most of it adiabatically. Although there are some like major life events, such as like, oh, I got into grad school, or I got into undergrad, or I achieved like a very specific milestone, or I did these certain things, right? I went to this place for the first time. Although we have like a lot of these things that are rather memorable and impactful, and we can think of them as like distinct events on our timeline where change is like a very like sharp thing. I think like a lot of our growth, I guess, as people, occurs rather adiabatically. It's not. It's quieter, right? These are things that you don't really pick up on, and they just kind of like gradually happen over time. Like it's not that like everything is like discarded and then replaced at once, but rather like things, a few things here there just like change, and then you just kind of get in the habit of doing more things. I mean, hell, like over the what it's been over a year now since like the channels existed, and there's probably already been a few things that I've adjusted. I think I started flossing more often, right, due to going to the dentist and being told that like, oh yeah, bone loss, right? It's like, oh, that's kind of bad. um so yeah, there's certainly been like that's one of the things. And something that I wanted to use as like a more recent anecdote is that I have a different glasses case now, right? I guess like on the second week of so like what like in late March I did like the journal club thing because like they wanted me to go, or well, hey, you should go do this journal club thing so we can have free food, of course. Um, Totally. So I did the journal club thing. I showed up late, of course, and I, opened my took out the glasses case as normal, cracked it open, and I heard like a snap sound. And it turns out like one of the metal thingies that like controls that allows the box to like snap shut whenever like the angle isn't like large enough. That thingy just broke, right? So then my glasses box like wouldn't fully close and it wouldn't like snap shut. So it's like, dang, that kind of sucks. I've had this thing since I got this pair of glasses back in like what 2018 when I was going off to undergrad. And then I remember like that day, like I went back home and I was trying to, use my sunglasses case to throw my glasses, which I'm doing now. And I took out these sunglasses, which I got back in China, like the last time I was in China back in like 2013. I remember I went with like my grandparents on my mom's side to like get these sunglasses, and I was like, wow, I wonder if these still fit. I put them on, and I hear like a snapping sound, and it turns out like the plastic frame of it just was I guess because I hadn't used it enough, was like a bit too brittle, and so like that like I guess broke, and that was kind of like I don't know. I wouldn't say like I was distraught is a bit of a strong word, but I was certainly at least a bit like sad. It's like, man, you're telling me like I broke two of these things, and dang, that kind of sucks, right? But anyhow, like I guess this is the new norm, right? I guess the new norm is now using my sunglasses case as like my new glasses case, and this is something that I figure I don't know, I guess like far enough in the future, although it's already been like about a month and I'm still remembering it, maybe just so I can kind of put the anecdote here and then maybe in time, right, I'll forget about this, right? I mean, I don't exactly remember when I switched from the first pair of glasses that I got, which was in 2013 also, right, to like the one that I'm using now, because I don't think I immediately transitioned over, right? It just took like at some point in time I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wear these glasses now. Anyways, like that's just kind of like an example of like gradual changes, right? And I guess this one isn't like super important, but maybe they do kind of add up in some way, right? I guess like other stuff is I'm currently sitting on this like chair that my dad used to sit on. Like we got these like foldable plastic lifetime chairs from like Sam's Club or something when I figure I was like 4 or 5, and those were like the chairs at the dining table, right? And yeah, I guess like I've current this chair has been put into use for a really long time, but it's been sat on for so long to where I guess I don't think I'm too heavy, but I guess it's just general stress, right? To where like the plastic itself has begun to show cracks, right? So eventually, I think I'm gonna have to get a new chair. Um, Also, like the bed sheets that I guess I sleep with right now are have been used for so long to where like the linens like are beginning to fall apart. Like you can slowly it's like the thing to where like the seams are becoming like more and more apart. I hope this is probably making me sound like a really like uh, not like a trashy, but more like a well one of those guys. I don't know how to put it. Like I don't really want to describe myself too thoroughly, but it's one of those ones, right? Like, and so I guess these are things that I'll have to tend to in the near future. I suppose get a new chair, get like slightly better sheets, or like learn to patch them up somehow. Um, And I don't know. I mean, I guess I bought some things recently. I finally got one of those like magazine folders that I can use to like sort out some of like the junk. There have been like a lot of these piles of just like mail. Some of it is to me, some of it is not to me, of like the previous people who used to live in this apartment, which is kind of, you'd think they would have forwarded over by now. Some of it's junk. Um, and I guess I also have like loose papers where I was like trying to do schoolwork. I like to keep those just so I can see like my progress, or see particular insightful moments. And so like I've been sifting my way through those and like putting them into the magazine folder. I have like some more organizers now, which are meant for this pile of receipts that's still sitting to like the right of like my laptop, right? But I don't know, like these are things that I'll try to get better at in time with time, right? I mean, I guess originally we didn't have this pile of receipts. We had like a small box where we put our receipts, and we were a bit better with keeping track of like our spending habits through like this stuff. But at some point in time, we just kind of stopped, right? And then the receipts started to pile up, and now we have like over a year's worth of like receipts, just like a little blob of them, just kind of like sitting here, and it's not particularly great, I guess, for our look if we're to invite friends and or future mates over, right? Or no, not future, like potential candidate. Let's sure. Jeez. You know what I mean. So yeah, I don't know. Like I've trying to, I guess, be a bit more clean, or like make the place a bit more hospitable or welcoming for just other people. And maybe if it's cleaner, it'll be easier for me to find things as well, right? It also, I guess, shows a sign of maturity, or just being more of a responsible adult. So that's something that I want to have. But I don't know. It seems that these things are going to occur gradually, right? I mean, going to Target or and buying these things like was like a step in the right direction, and then like actually doing these things is going to occur rather gradually as well. And then once like they happen, I don't really think I'll think too hard about it, right? In the sense that it's like, oh, like this is like a crazy thing, and now like my life is never going to be the same. But rather, it's just kind of like, well, that's just how I do things now, right? And it's kind of weird, I guess, like how I don't really remember, like, oh, that's just how I do things now, and then all of these like things kind of they build up in a way, they accrue, right? Um, I mean, hell, like I guess if I look a little bit more to the right and I look up, I can see this like pull-up bar of mine, right? And I think it was I don't even think I could consistently do a pull-up. What like by the end of senior year in undergrad, and now like I can do like a respectable like 3 to 4 every time. So that's pretty cool, right? And these aren't really things that I guess I notice too much. In middle school, I had braces, and my dad told me to like, it would be cool, I guess, if I took like a picture every day, and I could see like the change over time. And I didn't really notice it, but I know that they had an effect because my teeth, like my front teeth, aren't like bent in anymore, right? So it's just small things. They just all kind of add up, and that's kind of a it's both cool and scary in a way because it's hard to keep track of it. Is it important to keep track of it? Not really, right? I guess, but I mean, for my own personal interest, like maybe if I'm curious about it, but I don't know. It is kind of weird to like see like what micros like actually do to me, I guess, because like some of them don't matter, but like some of them do in a way, right? And like maybe there are like some small things that I do that make my life a lot better, and it would be nice to know as to what they were, but I don't really know if there's like an easy way to do an analysis of it, or if there's a point, because maybe some of them are like weird placebo effect type things. I'm not sure, but I don't know. Like this is just kind of it's just kind of been. I mean, I'm trying to think of other like stupid stuff that's happened. Like I guess my actually yeah, I need to take better care of my bike, I guess, because I haven't recorded in so long. I've had to replace my inner tubes twice. No, I shouldn't have to replace an inner tube like within like a month of getting like a new one, right? I guess I'm just like doing something wrong. I don't know, but yeah, like it's kind of weird. I guess like kind of like to try to return to like the thing of like, wow, look, change happens, but like sometimes like we don't really think too hard about it, and then like the small changes build up, and then we just kind of like find ourselves like in a very different spot from where we were like a long time ago, not necessarily because of big events, but rather because of like a bunch of small events that like gradually affected our life to put us to where we are now, right? And that's a both very powerful thing because that shows that we don't necessarily need to have to go to great measures to enact changes on our life, but rather if we do small things over time, then we can make things really cool. But also, like, it's a scary thought because if we like, don't take care of things, and all it takes are like a few like small things to build up, and the next thing you know, you have this massive pile of receipts sitting right at your desk. Hey man, you gonna clean those? Yeah, yeah, in time. Come on, give me a break. We'll do it. But yeah, I don't know. I guess this is what like painfully obvious. This is probably one of those like classic like, oh wow, like I saw this on the internet, like, and I think this is deep. Right? But I don't know. I guess it's like one of those moments to where I guess I'm feeling it a little bit more right now, right? And in a way, that's kind of why this channel exists. No, like we're trying to see the different shades or different like instances of me over time and see like how this changes. I don't think like we necessarily see quote unquote progress. There's some things that I'll like progress on in the sense of aging. I'm always going to become older, right? But other times, emotions. What am I feeling? What am I thinking about? Right? I'll probably revisit like stuff that I've talked about before, I guess, as I'm doing right now, right? I didn't actually listen to the Eclipses and Self Evolution audio before recording this, or at least recently. But I think it would be pretty interesting to listen to that and listen to that, like, listen to what I'm saying now, and then see, like, compare and contrast. I think I'll say a bunch of things that I've like said before. I think like in the Eclipses and Self Evolution when I was talking about like chess puzzles as an example of like things that I did, and then one day I missed a few, and then like I suddenly just kind of like dropped off and stopped like doing them, right? But I don't know, right? Like these are all the things that I guess I just kind of do. Like it's as of now, like I still certainly have that like the whole shtick of like I need to become stronger, right? Like, and I just have to do like more things, and if it still certainly seems a bit like still feels a bit not annoying, but like overwhelming at times. But I'm still doing them. It would be nice, I guess, to have some sort of like external reassurance in a way that like or a sign, right? That like I guess I'm doing the right thing, or that if I keep trying my best, like somehow things will turn out all right. But I know that like I can't actually get this doesn't exist, right? Like even if someone tells me it'll be okay, I don't know if I'll trust them, and I don't actually know if like they can really make sure that things will be all right. Yeah, like not just with like the current state of the world, but just like the overall, you know, this is just how things are, right? Um, but I don't know. I guess like there's just more stuff that I have to do. I think like the last time I was a bit more, and like the last audio, I was kind of bummed out about like how it just kind of feels like the days go by and I don't really do much. And I definitely had like, you know, a period of the past 6 weeks where it was like that. I'd say like a solid like 3 out of those 6 weeks were like I am a bit more slow, although two of those were of my own volition. But at the same time, I've had like so that means that I've had like 3 weeks where like I actually was like kind of more doing things, right? Not necessarily, pardon me. I wasn't like I don't know, like I felt like I was actually doing things, and it was nice, and I kind of hope that I can return to that shape again. I hope that I can get back to making these audios a bit more often and maybe talking about more things. I suppose like I don't really know what I guess like exactly will be on my mind. I certainly have things that all I could think that I could talk about, but yeah, like we just kind of have to keep doing things, right? What else is there to do but to keep trying? Um, yeah, so cool. I guess. I'm like currently racking my mind. It's I'm not thinking the well, my thought process is not the most clear. Sleep schedule's been a bit messed up. I've been like I think sleeping around like 5 to 6 consistently over the past like 4-ish days, and waking up like past noon, which isn't good. But it's not to say that I'm like thinking like the most clear around this time of day either. So yeah, I don't know. Guess that's all I got for now. I guess now that I've recorded audio, I can go play more Omori and not feel super bad. But yeah, all right, future me. Guess I'll see you around. Till then, take care.